Hey, everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. We love to explore the world of language learning. And today we're going to be looking at something pretty fascinating. We're going to be diving into an app called Bluebird. And this is particularly exciting for those of you who are already using Pronunciator, because as it turns out, Bluebird can really amp up your language learning progress. We got sent a whole bunch of information about Bluebird. And just to give you a taste of what we're dealing with, we're talking about a library of language learning content that is 3 times larger than Audible's entire collection. So yeah.
I know, it's pretty mind-blowing when you look at the sheer scale of Bluebird. I mean, we're talking 164 languages covered. And get this, a total of 12.6 million audio lessons. Mm-hmm. Which, if you were to do the math, that adds up to 6.3 million hours of content. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's like 720 years of nonstop language learning.
720 years. That's incredible. But for our listeners who are already familiar with Pronunciator, I think the question on everyone's mind is, where does Bluebird fit in there? Well, think of it this way. You know how Pronunciator is kind of like that trusty Swiss Army knife of language learning? It's versatile and it's got tools for all sorts of needs. Well, Bluebird is more like a specialized corkscrew. It's laser focused on delivering a really immersive audio learning experience.
So it's like they work together in a way. Pronunciator kind of sets the foundation, and then Bluebird takes you deeper with this intense focus on audio.
Exactly.
And I think the best part is I was reading through the materials, and it looks like Bluebird is included with Pronunciator.
That's right. There's no extra cost for this audio powerhouse. It's like a bonus feature you get just for being a Pronunciator user.
Wow. Okay, color me intrigued.
Yeah.
But I got to ask, what exactly makes Bluebird's audio lessons so special? Is it just someone reading phrases into a microphone?
Oh, no, not at all. We're talking studio quality recordings. And they're paired with time-coded visuals like subtitles and photos, so you can follow along, and it's almost like an interactive video experience. But you still have the flexibility of audio learning so you can listen on the go.
So it's engaging and convenient. That's fantastic. What other features are there that kind of enhance this audio experience?
Well, Bluebird has some really neat tools like phonetic text to help you see how words are pronounced. And they even have noun gender indicators for languages that use grammatical gender. And you have playback speed control, so you can slow things down or speed them up. And if you want to jump back or forth in the audio, you can do that in 10-second increments.
Oh, that's handy.
And one of my favorite features is you can download lessons for offline listening. So if you're commuting or traveling or you're somewhere without reliable internet access, you can still keep up with your language learning.
That offline listening is a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
But with so much content, how does Bluebird help you remember everything?
Well, they've built in quizzes and flashcards to reinforce what you've learned. So every lesson has a set of quizzes to test your understanding of the material and the vocabulary.
So it's not just passive listening. You're actively engaging with the material and getting feedback on how you're doing.
Exactly. And Bluebird tracks your quiz scores, and it ranks them so you can see how you improve over time.
I love that. Speaking of tracking progress, what about the flashcards? Are they like the traditional paper ones?
They're digital, of course, but what makes Bluebird's flashcards really special is they use spaced repetition, which is a proven method for long-term memorization. So the app shows you flashcards at increasing intervals, which helps to ensure that the information really sticks in your memory.
That's brilliant.
And just like with the quizzes, Bluebird tracks your flashcard performance, so you can see which words or phrases need a little extra practice. They also have a really impressive pronunciation analysis feature.
Oh, pronunciation. Now that's something I always struggle with. What makes Bluebird's approach different?
Well, they use a sophisticated algorithm that analyzes your pronunciation in real time and gives you a score so you know instantly how you're doing.
Real-time feedback. That's incredible. It's like having a personal pronunciation coach right there with you.
Exactly. And here's a detail I found really fascinating. The algorithm is designed to be gender and age neutral, which means it works accurately for everyone, regardless of their voice.
That's fantastic. It creates a much more inclusive and accessible learning environment for everyone. So we've got studio quality audio quizzes, flashcards, and real-time pronunciation feedback. Anything else Bluebird has up its sleeve?
Oh, there's plenty more. One of the standout features is their personalized course creation. So you're not stuck with a one-size-fits-all approach. You can customize your learning experience based on your interests, your occupation, your skill level, even your age range.
Personalized courses.
Okay.
Now you've really got my attention. Tell me more about how that works.
Sure. So let's say you're learning Spanish for an upcoming trip. You can select travel as your interest. Or if you're learning for your career, you can choose your occupation from a list of 60 common jobs. And Bluebird tailors the vocabulary and the content to fit your specific needs.
Wow. So it's like having a language course designed specifically for you. What other factors go into this personalization?
You also choose your skill level. So whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And your age range, which influences the type of vocabulary and examples they use in the lessons. And then you choose the course duration from 4 weeks to a full year. And how many phrases you want to learn each day.
It really does feel like having a personal language coach. And you know, something else I was reading about in the material, they mentioned these PDF study guides. Can you tell me more about those?
Yeah, this is where it gets even cooler. Bluebird generates a unique PDF study guide for every personalized course you create. So it's like having a customized textbook to accompany your learning.
I love that blend of digital and tangible learning resources. Is there anything else this personalization feature can do?
Hold on to your hat because this is impressive. After you complete a weekly review quiz in your personalized course, Bluebird asks if you want extra lessons and quizzes focusing on the phrases you missed. It's like having a tutor who pinpoints your weaknesses and creates targeted practice just for you.
That's incredible. It's like the app is learning alongside you and adapting to your needs. What a fantastic way to make sure you're mastering the material.
Right. But that's not all. There's even more to discover about Bluebird.
There's more. I'm already blown away.
Well,
But before we move on, I just want to make sure I understand how this all works. As a supplement to Pronunciator, it sounds like the combination could be incredibly powerful for language learners.
absolutely. It's all about maximizing your learning experience. Pronunciator provides that solid foundation and a wealth of diverse content, while Bluebird takes the audio portion and turbocharges it. With engaging features, personalization, and that laser focus on pronunciation, they truly complement each other.
That's a fantastic way to put it. It's like having the best of both worlds. You get a comprehensive program with Pronunciator, and then you get this deep dive into immersive audio learning with Bluebird. I can already see the value for any language learner. But tell me, what else does Bluebird offer? I'm dying to know what else they've packed into this amazing app.
Well, one of the things that really sets Bluebird apart is they offer adaptive tests that are aligned with the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, or CEFR, as it's more commonly known.
Ah, yes, the CEFR. Now, for those of our listeners who might not be familiar with that, could you give us a quick explanation?
Sure. Think of the CEFR as a kind of a belt system for languages. You start at A1 for beginners, and you work your way up to C2, which is basically mastery of the language.
I love that analogy. So with Bluebird's adaptive tests, you can figure out which language belt you've earned.
Exactly. And after you take a test, you get an official PDF certificate with your CEFR score, which can be really valuable if you're applying for jobs or schools where demonstrating your language proficiency is important.
That makes a lot of sense. And I think I read in the material that you can take these tests multiple times, and you'll get certificates for each attempt.
That's right. So you can track your progress and see how you improve over time. And speaking of tracking progress, we've talked a lot about the mobile app, but I know Bluebird also has a desktop version, so I'm curious, how does that work?
Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that. Because I know a lot of language learners, myself included, we like to study on a larger screen sometimes.
Well, they have a responsive HTML5 app that syncs seamlessly with the iOS and Android apps. So let's say you're working on a lesson on your phone during your commute, and then later you want to continue on your computer. With Bluebird, you can pick up right where you left off.
That's a great feature. You have the flexibility to learn wherever and whenever it's convenient.
Exactly. And all of your progress, your scores, your personalized course information, it all syncs across your devices. Now, while we've been talking about individual users, Bluebird also has some unique features for institutions.
Oh, that's right. I remember reading something about PIN-based logins and unlimited access. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So Bluebird for Institutions allows system-wide or campus-wide access through a simple PIN code system. So basically everyone within an institution, whether it's a school, a library, or a corporation, they can all access Bluebird's premium content. Using a unique PIN.
That's fantastic. It eliminates the need for individual accounts, and it makes it so much easier to manage language learning resources for a large group of people.
Exactly. And with unlimited concurrent access, there's no need to worry about waiting for someone else to finish their session. Everyone can access Bluebird at the same time.
perfect for institutions with a high demand for language learning resources.
Absolutely. And for administrators, Bluebird offers detailed usage statistics, so they can track how the platform is being used, which can be helpful for assessing the program's effectiveness and identifying areas for improvement.
That's a really valuable tool for any institution, to have that data-driven insight to help them tailor their language learning programs to the needs of their users.
Precisely. It ensures that resources are being used effectively and that learners are getting the most out of their experience with Bluebird.
So we've explored all these impressive features, from personalized courses and pronunciation analysis to CEFR aligned tests and institutional access. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to this idea of Bluebird as a supplement to Pronunciator.
Excellent point. It's easy to get caught up in all the bells and whistles, but the real magic happens when you combine these two powerful platforms.
Exactly. So for our listener who is already using Pronunciator, what are the key benefits they might experience by adding Bluebird to their language learning toolkit?
First and foremost, it's about amplifying that audio learning experience. Bluebird takes the rich audio content from Pronunciator, and it enhances it with features like studio quality recordings, time-coded visuals, and that incredible real-time pronunciation feedback.
It's like taking audio learning to a whole new level.
And with the personalized courses, you're not just listening passively, you're actively engaging with material that's tailored to your specific goals and interests.
And let's not forget about the CEFR aligned tests, which offer a way to formally assess your progress and gain some valuable credentials along the way.
Absolutely.
So it seems like Bluebird takes all the best elements of Pronunciator's audio content, and it supercharges them to create a truly immersive and personalized experience that can really accelerate your learning.
Exactly. And because it's included with Pronunciator, there's really no reason not to give it a try. It's like a free upgrade to your language learning experience.
I love that. It's like having a secret weapon in your quest for fluency. Now, before we move on to any final thoughts, I'm curious to hear a little bit more about Bluebird's accessibility features, because I know the material mentioned a commitment to inclusivity, and I'd like to explore that further.
Well, they've really gone above and beyond to make Bluebird accessible to everyone, regardless of their background or technical resources. Like, for starters, the interface is available in a whopping 146 language options.
146 languages. That's incredible. It really speaks to their global vision of making language learning accessible to as many people as possible.
It does. They've clearly thought about removing barriers for users worldwide. And remember the registration process we discussed earlier. It's designed to be super user-friendly.
Right. But what about users who might not have an email address? I know that can be a barrier for some, especially those who are new to technology or have limited access.
That's a great point, and that's where Bluebird's commitment to inclusivity really shines through, because they actually allow users to enter a fake email address during registration.
Wow. That's amazing. It removes a potential hurdle and makes language learning that much more accessible for everyone. I'm really impressed with how much thought they've put into these details.
Me too. It really speaks volumes about their mission. They've even considered the needs of institutions with features like PN-based logins for the mobile apps.
Yes, we touched on that briefly earlier. But could you remind me how the PI system works? It sounds like a convenient alternative to traditional login methods.
It is. Each institution receives a unique 4-character alphanumeric PI code. So that means it includes both letters and numbers for added security. And then users simply enter this PI during registration on the Android or iOS app, and they have full access for the duration of the institution's subscription.
That's so much easier than managing individual accounts, especially for large institutions. It really streamlines the process and makes access incredibly convenient for everyone.
Exactly. And those alphanumeric pens are harder to guess, which adds an extra layer of security. Bluebird has truly considered all angles to ensure accessibility, security, and ease of use.
Okay, so let's recap. We've covered Bluebird's massive audio library, the engaging features like quizzes and real-time pronunciation feedback, the personalized courses that adapt to your learning style, the CEFR-aligned tests for official certification, and even the accessibility features that ensure inclusivity for all learners. It's clear that the Bluebird offers an incredibly powerful and engaging way to supplement your language learning journey with Pronunciator.
I couldn't agree more. It's like having a personal language tutor right in your pocket, guiding you towards fluency with every lesson, quiz, and flashcard.
It's like unlocking a secret level of language learning. For our listener who's already using Pronunciator, I think the key takeaway here is that Bluebird offers a way to amplify their learning experience. It takes all the amazing audio content from Pronunciator and makes it even more engaging, personalized, and effective.
Well said. And because it's included with Pronunciator, there's really no reason not to explore it. It's like a bonus feature waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. So to our listeners, we encourage you to dive into Bluebird and see how it can enhance your language learning journey. You might just be surprised at how much progress you can make with this dynamic duo of language learning resources at your fingertips.
Until next time, happy learning.